Welcome to the Four Listeners Program. Welcome aboard, everybody. Thanks for checking us out this week. What up, everybody? I'm Spear. On the mics with me this week, we have the mighty Ganthor. What's up, Ganthor?
How you doing, buddy? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Happy New Year.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, man. The Z-Man is out of commission this week. We will get him. We'll get him back in the swing of things next week. Where are we at, Ganthor? You know, over the holidays, I don't know about you, I got an opportunity to watch some sporting events. You know, there's some good stuff. You know, there was the rounding out of the NFL season. Some good college football. Virginia Tech was in that bowl game. You know, congratulations on the win.
I was not expecting it, but thank you. We never win bowl games.
All right. So I mean, so it's nice, and you know, I think there's a decided difference between the experience that you get in your home versus the experiences you get live in the stadium. So I guess something must be done about the football experience. Is that what we're talking about today?
Yeah, the football experience. That's a good way to call it.
So what's your take on this, there, Ganthor? Because you got started on this. This is you.
Yeah. So an NFL event, aside from maybe one or two stadiums, is generally a terrible experience. Starting with the cost, the conditions, and the, how do you want to call it, the perspective that you get from actually being there. So what I mean by that is you're sitting in some seat. Where are your seats, right? You're on the upper deck.
There is me, there is one row behind me, and then there is God.
Yeah. So you essentially have a permanent all-22 view of the field, right? You heard the all-22 cam?
Yep. Yeah, that's the coach's tape where they can see the entire field and all 11 players on both sides of the offense and defense. Yeah.
So what goes along with that is you can't see the ball. Can't really tell who's who. Unless, I mean, maybe my eyes are just terrible, but I have trouble following what happened, right? So then your only recourse is to, one, hope the in-stadium play-by-play announcer is on his game, or two, find a replay on some shitty jumbotron that they maybe show once and try and figure out what happened.
The problem I have with going to these live events is that in the early part of the season, going to a game in September is nice. You know, it's warm or it's just getting cool enough. You know, it's crisp in the air. It feels like good football weather. You know what I mean? And then you get to December, you know, like November and December, it gets cold, it gets wet. So you don't enjoy those games unless the game itself is good. And this year, the product that the Eagles were putting on the field, not so good, bro.
Yeah. I mean, so going back to our bowl game, it was in Florida. You think, oh, Florida, late December, it'll be nice and warm down there. No, it's fucking raining.
Right.
So who wants? I don't want to go to a situation like that, right? You know what I'd rather sit on the couch with the fireplace going, with as many beers as I want in the fridge, whatever food I want, sitting around, laying on a nice comfortable couch with an HD DVR, so I get the best views out of anything in the stadium, and I can pause it when I gotta pee, I can rewind it, see what happened, listen to the commentary. I can do all that stuff. So the last college game I was at, the next play started before the in-stadium play-by-play announcer announced what had happened. So it's like I didn't know if it was if the run gained 7 yards or gained 3 yards because I couldn't see because it was the other side of the field. So I'm like, okay, is this third and short? Is it third and long? What the hell? Did we get the first down? I don't know. Whereas with TV, I wouldn't have that problem.
Right. Yeah, you know, it's interesting that there used to be something that you used to get by going to the games. There was you used to get the experience of going to the games because you used to watch these games on this little tube television, you know, and like it wasn't great. It was fuzzy. You know, like I remember when I was a kid, you know, if my dad was watching a football game and like the picture got all fuzzy, I'm standing up through most of the damn game, holding the friggin' rabbit ears in a particular position. So that and so that's clear. No, hold it again. Hold it. What are you doing? Hold it up. You know, it's like I'm like, Dad, can I sit and watch the game? No, sit there. Hold it up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So that's completely terrible. But now the HD stuff and the DVRs, you've got the best view. You've got the best 12 views at the stadium.
Yep.
At your disposal.
Yeah, and it used to be that the broadcast television part of it was always like maybe 2 cameras, you know.
Right.
It
Yep.
used to be that the highlight of the broadcast was seeing the view from the blimp. You know, oh, the Goodyear blimp's out tonight.
Yeah.
You know,
Now
holy
that
shit, we're it's for reals.
yeah.
You know,
Now nobody cares.
yeah. Who the
Oh,
fuck?
the MetLife blimps in town. So
Yeah. Who cares?
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nighttime shot of Philadelphia looks just like every other nighttime city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Not
The-
interested.
yeah.
So I mean, there's certain environments, certain situations you go to where being there is absolutely fantastic, and it's something you should experience. Seattle Stadium strikes me like that too. Like I don't know if you watched whatever game they had to win to get into the playoffs, right?
They're renowned. They are
Yeah, they're
renowned for the
just
12th man. You know.
yeah. They know when to yell and when to scream, when to disrupt the other team, all that stuff. And it's like you don't particularly get that at the link.
Yeah.
I
Seattle
mean, you
and
get people yelling, "Hey, asshole!" You know,
Well, all
if
right,
it's
so-
a Cowboys fan or Giants fan or Redskins fan or pretty much any other fan.
I got to tell you the story. And I don't know if I've told you the story before. When I was at when we've had tickets for a while. We've had tickets all the way back to when we were in the vet. And Philadelphia fans will tell you that they're the greatest fans on the planet.
Oh, they're terrible.
And I will tell you that they're all categorically wrong. And the reason
Yeah,
I say
sorry, I just want to chime in. I don't mean terrible like bad people. I mean terrible like they're as fans knowing when to cheer, you know, what to do and whatnot. They have no clue.
oh no, fuck you. I'm going to tell you they're bad people.
Well, there's that too. I'm clarifying my
like
point. Yeah.
I could not in any way, shape, or form consider bringing my son to a football game. He's 5 years old, and I would like to share these kind of sporting events with him, but I couldn't even fathom bringing
Yeah,
him to one of these things until he was a teenager. You know,
Even then, you'd be a borderline irresponsible parent.
right? A few years ago in the vet, you know, and again, sitting all the way up in the upper deck in the 700 level, the infamous 700 level, right? I'm up there, and there was this kid who was walking up the steps, a cold day, walking up the steps wearing a Redskins parka. You know, like remember those starter jackets, those parkas?
Oh yeah. Yep.
He's walking up. Couldn't have been more than 10 years old, 11 at the max, right? Walking up the stairs with his hot chocolate on a cold day, right? And everyone in the stand sees him wearing something Redskins and start going asshole, asshole, and he's 10. And
Yeah.
he's
See, that's
fucking
not
10.
right. That is not right.
I'm like the behavior of fans at these games is like prohibitive for bringing a family. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my dad used to take us every year to see the Phillies game around 4th of July, so we'd go on the field and see the fireworks. I never understood why we never went to an Eagles game until my wife got me Eagles tickets, and I realized, for exactly the reason you described, an Eagles football game is no place for a kid.
Well, say what you want, right? But I mean, in pretty much every case, you're going to find yourself with some boorish fucking numbskull who doesn't know how to contain himself after having, you know, half a dozen beers,
Yeah, right.
right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, says the wrong thing, and look, I've probably been at any one point or another that boorish asshole who doesn't know how to contain himself after half a dozen beers. So, you know,
Yeah, but you're not going to start a fight.
no, I end fights.
You're not going to yell at a kid.
No, I won't yell at a kid. I'll beat the shit out of his dad. Fuck. That's what you get for bringing your kid.
That's
What's the matter with you?
It's not much better, buddy.
No. The only reason I could give you for wanting to go to the games, and it's the only reason I really enjoy going to the games, is tailgating. Tailgating for me is an art, bro. You know, you go to tailgate, and I've seen people show up with enormous setups. Like when we first started going to the games, we just used to go with a little like hibachi style charcoal grill. You know, at one point, I kid you not, we were flipping frozen burgers with a protractor that somebody found in the trunk of their car because we didn't have a
Fucking
spatula.
nerds.
Right, but this is what we had.
Protractor.
Okay? A protractor. Now we have gas grills, turkey fryers, tents, chairs, stereos, you know, whatever, right? I mean, we have a whole setup, and it's not even nearly as far as a lot of people go. I've seen people bring generators. I've seen people bring their satellite dishes. They put them up. They mount them on a giant pole, and then watch. Like these are people with Sunday tickets. So for a late game or like a Monday night game, or a Sunday night game, they come and they sit in the parking lot for the entire day watching football.
Yeah, but you know what? I can do that in my backyard. It's called a cookout.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's just something. I don't know. There's something about urinating on a car door
Yeah,
that's
the
just. I don't
threat
know.
of
Maybe
being
I'm
a sex
romanticizing it.
offender.
Not quite. Maybe I'm romanticizing it. I don't know. But there's just something about peeing in a storm grate. Freezing your balls off.
I guess I'm done. No interest whatsoever anymore. Don't care.
That's it. Don't care. Argument
Oh
over.
yeah, I'll watch it on goddamn TV.
So is there a sport experience that you think is better actually in person?
I do, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Going to the baseball games, right? Not that baseball is a fun, exciting sport, but it's a relaxing event, right? You're in the sunshine. It's warm. Sometimes you get to watch fireworks afterwards. You get to eat a whole bunch of shit food that tastes delicious.
Hot dogs, peanuts,
Cotton candy,
cotton
Krabby
candy.
Fries, cheese fries.
Yep.
You name it, it's there. And you don't have to, like, if I miss a pitch, I don't care. If I miss a hit, don't really care. Home run happens, yay, that's exciting.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do.
So that, and you say, oh, well, what's the difference between that and football? It's like, well, I mean, technically you've got a point, but it's just Philly fans don't really yell at people.
Oh no! Slow your roll on that one there, Ganthor.
Really?
Oh, slow your roll, Ganthor. Because as
I've never seen it.
a Met fan, I have gone, and maybe I've been brazen, right? And maybe I've worn something that identifies me as a Met fan, whether it's a hat or a T-shirt or something. I'm not saying I was smart by doing this, by the way, but I've gotten my share of shite.
Yeah, but you probably asked for it.
No.
You probably asked for it.
If by wearing the T-shirt you mean I asked for it, maybe. But it's not like I walked into the stands and say, "Abuse me, fuckers."
It actually wouldn't surprise me if you did say that.
No. You see, no, I've never done that. No, I'm telling you, I've never said "abuse me, fuckers."
Well, I've never seen that.
It's possible.
On the flip side, though, I have heckled Philadelphia players before.
As a Philadelphia fan.
Oh yeah.
I think that's all part and parcel of being a fan, though, right? I think you have to be able to call somebody a bum,
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right about that. But generally, it's an event you can take your kids to. You can go with your wife and generally not have to worry about getting beat up. You can relax. You can leave early if you want. You enjoy the nice evening because Citizens Bank Park's a nice looking park. Get a nice sunset over third base.
Yeah, the only sport I'm kind of on the fence with is hockey. I love hockey, right? But I can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a big hockey fan.
Yeah, and I can't decide whether or not it's better to watch hockey at home or see hockey in person. I mean, because again, hockey is one of those difficult sports to follow, right? Because it's so fast paced and it's always in motion, and
Yeah.
Watching it on TV, back in the day was horrendous, and that's when when Fox had the hockey thing and they had like Fox tracks and they had the little
Right. The glowing shit.
right, the tail behind the hockey puck.
Yeah.
That was like their way of trying to get people to be able to follow it because it's hard. You're watching a little black dot get, moved around on your television like at lightning speeds.
Yeah.
But with the advent of HD, it becomes so much easier. You see so much more of the rink. It's so much easier to follow. And again, camera angles and color commentary is so much better nowadays. So the experience is that much better. But I've gone to the games, regular season playoffs. Going to a playoff game in like the Stanley Cup playoffs is really magical, right? I mean,
Oh, I believe. Yeah. So that's one of the situations where I completely support going.
yeah, I mean the energy's high.
Right. That's what I mean. That the social energy, being part of that crazy, just environment and all the hygiene, just being part of that. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah,
It's like being
hard
in a
not to get
riot
caught up in it.
without having to worry about getting arrested.
Yeah. And it's hard not to get caught up in it too, I mean, and I've been to some crazy hockey games too, where like I went to see the Flyers play the Rangers in Madison Square Garden. It was when Eric Lindros left the Flyers to go play for the Rangers, and it was his first game against the Flyers as a Ranger. And Philly fans, they travel, so they were all wandering around the inner walkway of the garden, wearing these orange shirts with an 88 with a circle and a cross through it, and it was like I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. There was
Yeah.
fighting everywhere, beers getting tossed out of the stands. It was crazy. It was absolutely nuts. So I mean, I've seen some bad hockey games with that kind of crap. It's been the exception to the rule. But I enjoy going to hockey games. Although I can watch a hockey game at home and still enjoy it. So it's one of those like half and half type of deals for me.
Yep.
So let me ask you this, Ganthor. You went to a big college with a big sports program, Division 1, right?
Yep.
So you've seen sporting events there. You've seen
Yeah.
sporting events professionally.
Yep.
Not saying that you got paid to go to these
No.
events, but you've seen
Right. I know
professionals play sports.
yes.
Which do you think provides the better environment to go see a
College.
game? College.
College, without a doubt.
Mostly
Just
because
like
of
I
what
said,
the
just because of my school, like at a basketball game in school, it wasn't important. I think we were playing Temple or something. They must have had a point guard who was like 4 feet tall. He was tiny, right?
yeah.
So the home crowd, it's just it's a bunch, it's a weeknight or whatever. It's just students there. Whenever he got the ball, they start chanting Webster. So if you can imagine a whole stadium just going Webster, Webster. It's you don't get like you would never get that at the Sixers game, right? It's not going to happen.
No.
It's just one. I mean, I feel bad for the guy because he can't help it that he's short and look like Webster, but it's hilarious. You know, where I went to school, the football they get crazy. I don't know if you've ever seen the Enter Sandman intro that they do. That type of thing. Like being in that environment with 60,000 people all bouncing up and down and screaming nonstop for 20 minutes straight. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you show up late, you walk late, you hear the crowd yelling, "Let's go, Hokies," and it hits you, like it physically hits you as you're walking up because it's so loud. It's like what's like the opening scene of Gladiator, where everybody, they're all yelling and screaming. Like, can you imagine what that's like?
You mean the barbarian horde?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like you're walking up and you hear that, it like you can physically feel it. Or if you're in there, just part of it,
Yeah, I guess the
and that's
only
what you get.
the only time I've ever been in a stadium where I've experienced something like that was, now keep in mind I'm a Giants fan, right? But I go to these Eagles games, and that's another long and kind of drawn out story. But it was the last game in the vet. It was the NFC Championship game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and right before kickoff, the crowd was, I mean, they were just, it was the loudest, craziest thing. Like it felt like the building was going to shake apart, and that kind of thing you don't forget, you know. You don't.
Right? Yeah, yeah. That's what you go for.
Yeah, it's like my teeth were vibrating with the noise. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
crazy like that. But you have to get into those special situations, like playoff hockey, Stanley Cup playoff hockey, NFL championship game, World Series. Those types of things. Like I remember being as a kid at Game 6 of the '86 World Series, Mets Red Sox, when that ball went through Bill Buckner's legs. The
Oh
noise
yeah.
the
Yep.
noise from that was, I was 10, and I still remember it, like vividly.
Yeah.
I mean, those kinds of things you don't forget. So, I mean, those types of experiences, it's worth going to a live event for. I'll grant you, like your run of the mill Sunday afternoon 1 o'clock game, maybe not so much. But for those types of things, those experiences, man, I don't think you can top seeing an event live. So what do we learn there, Ganthor? What do we learn about the football experience, or sporting event experience in general? What do we learn?
You're a fucking idiot if you go to a game in person.
You're a fucking idiot if you go to a football game in person.
Yes.
But
Football. I should clarify. Yes, you're a fucking idiot if you go to a football game in person.
but
NFL game,
an NFL game. But there is something to be said for going to
college game.
a college game, or even a baseball game, or a hockey game.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
I would endorse seeing a hockey game live, especially if it's a Stanley Cup playoff game. So if you like going to football games, professional or college, or if you like going to sporting events in general, why don't you go ahead and post it on the Facebook page, facebook.com/4listeners or 4listeners.com. You can check us out on Stitcher Radio or on the iTunes. Just search for 4Listeners and we'll pop right on up. We thank you for checking us out this week, and we hope that you will check us out again next week. Thanks a bunch, everybody.